The first trust liquidation office at the Biamasi neighborhood in Yaoundé was last week burgled by thieves who took away money and other valuables. Occupants of the office, Barrister Amongwa Nicodemus and co, have urged the authorities to crack down the perpetrators, stating that the incident has put him in confusion. We'll bring you the details in this edition of Newscast. And few days to the 2023-2024 academic year, stakeholders in the basic education sector are strategizing to ensure effective resumption of classes. Focus was again on an old-age problem, clandestine schools, and how to improve and complete syllabuses for better performances. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. The first trust liquidation office at the Biamasi neighborhood in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, was last week burgled by thieves who took away money and other valuables. Occupants of the office, Barrister Amungwa Nicodemus and co, have urged on the authorities to crack down on the perpetrators, stating that the incident has put them in total confusion. The incident of that unfortunate incident, more on that unfortunate incident with our reporter, Haisencha.
This is a tiny hole the burglars passed through into the liquidation office on the night of August 14, shattering everywhere and making away with valuable case files and other items. And getting to the office the next day, Barrister Amungwa Nicodemus and colleagues couldn't believe their eyes.
I came down, I opened the office, and I discovered pieces of glasses. And I asked myself, I looked around, the first thing was, is it an explosion that occurred here or something fell? As I peeped through the glass, because I could not open, I discovered a big hole behind my office. So all my documents were on the ground.
Faced with the situation, the legal minds immediately rushed to the competent security services to lay their complaints.
Bogwiti was, they were so prompt, and they came down, and they went around, they checked. So we discovered that the dog from behind, after having climbed a fence, a very high fence that separates the back of my office and the hole that they dug.
We are expecting results from them.
And the incident has imposed worries on the lawyers, greatly affecting their state of mind as they battle with unanswered questions.
I wouldn't know why people or a thief would enter an office and he's interested to take business cards. One of the things was that I was afraid that they can use it for some other reason that can cause some harm on us. We've been reaching out to some of our clients with mixed files, some of them that we've not discovered the files. We are still tracing the files. It is going to take us time. So morally and psychologically and practically, it's not been easy for us to operate.
Unfortunately, for the men of the underworld, they couldn't access the office that had liquid cash of over 800,000 francs CFA.
Audience of adieu by the ambassador and the head of the EU delegation, Philip van Dam, to Cameroon Minister of Communication, René Emmanuel Sadi, this Thursday. The two evaluated their collaboration to end misinformation and hate speech with determination to forge ahead with his predecessor. Here is an excerpt of Philip van Dam at the end of the audience, put together by our reporter, Beatrice Gamo.
I've been investing quite a lot of energy over the last couple of years in the fight against disinformation and hate speech, and we have had an excellent collaboration with the Minister of Communication over the past couple of years, so I thought it was appropriate at this final stage of my mission here that we have a kind of state of play of where we stand and what are the prospects for the near future. So I had the pleasure to announce that we will continue working in this field, that we have launched a call recently to work in a, let's say, more structural way on media education and fight against disinformation and hate speech.
And few days are left for the 2023-2024 school year to kick a start. Stakeholders in the basic education sector are currently strategizing to ensure an effective resumption of classes. Focus was again on an age-old problem, which is clandestine schools, and how to improve and complete syllabuses for better performance of teachers and students and pupils. Rather, more in the following story.
This list, signed August 23, 2023, gives a clear picture of clandestine schools in the basic education sector in Cameroon, which as of date stands at 494 schools operating illegally, an age-old problem which government has not been able to resolve. This was at the center of debate at this sectoral.
In a bid to strengthen pharmaceutical innovation capacities in Cameroon and Africa at large, the Pioneer Forum on Pharmaceutical Industry and Medical Supplies is in gestation. The objective and others were at the center of a press conference in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. More with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
The perception of pharmacy is still very limited today here in Cameroon. Clearing this doubt on the capacities of pharmacists, a major concern raised during the press conference in Yaoundé.
Today in our country, people are behaving like a pharmacist is just a vendor of medicine. This is not true. This even have to make people realize that the pharmacist is not a vendor of medicine, that the knowledge of the pharmacist is so important to save life and even to rational use of medicines.
The upcoming Pharma Expo, that is first international fair of pharmaceutical industry and medical supplies, is organized by the National Order of Pharmacists in Cameroon. The specificities are to conduct scientific assessment of drugs, disease prevention, promote health and nutrition, and also the acceleration of expertise, training, research, and drug production, scheduled from September 21 to 23 at the Yaoundé Conference Center. It will articulate on major axes.
Capacity building of students, but also capacity building of regulators, those who are involved in the regulatory in the different sharing of experiences. Discussion will be done on training of pharmacy in Africa. Discussion will also be done on development of the local production of medicine in Africa.
The event will be under the theme, One Diploma, Many Jobs.
It is often considered as a symptom of fatigue, hunger, stress, yawning, and involuntary act done by human being. According to medics, this natural behavior is important to every human being and should be regarded as a normal exercise. High-Saint Chair and student journalist Manuel Manga met with an expert to discuss on such natural action via story.
Their mouths are widely opened and often followed with a stretch up. This is called yawning. Yawning is an involuntary action which is characterized by a long and deep respiration with a brief break followed by a short respiration. This often happens within a short period of at most 5 seconds. And talking to several people out there, they evoke hunger, fatigue and stress as the principal causes of the action.
Bon, moi personnellement, je peux expliquer ça du
I'm hungry or stressed up.
Le stress aussi.
When I'm tired and hungry, I yawn.
Je baille parfois quand je suis stressée ou bien parfois quand comme je fais mon petit commerce là.
And it usually comes in with laziness, and also when I am sad, I yawn.
Yawning can arise in a social and non-social context.
In the social context, we can enumerate as causes boredom. Just the fact to think about yawning, see someone yawn, talk about yawning can lead to someone yawning. So for the non-social causes, we can enumerate fatigue, sleep disorders, adverse effects of medications.
This natural behavior is often neglected but has its role to play in the human system as it stimulates the brain and is also considered as a sign of communication.
Yawning helps keep the brain alert, keep us in contact with our immediate surrounding. When there's no stimuli in our environment to keep us awake, the system in charge of sleep is actually activated. So yawning intervenes in that particular scenario in order to keep someone alert.
In social norms, it is always advised to cover your mouth when yawning, as it prevents you from looking nasty before people around you.
Some 35 young boys aged 10 and 15 were grouped to gain life skills within family circles. The boys prepared meals in the kitchen using equipment used by their mothers. This is in view to break gender stereotypes. As you tell us in a following story, Kejan Harry Atembe.
A one-day program by Visionary Family Network called Cooking with Boys has ended in Bamenda, northwest region of Cameroon. The first edition of this holiday initiative was born out of what goes on in the Cameroonian family circles and the society at large, where cooking in homes is left in the hands of the girl child at the detriment of the male gender. And so to break this gender stereotype and strike a balance, some 35 boys aged between 10 and 18 were grouped under the Visionary Family Network holiday program to gain these life skills within family circles.
If you want to make vegetable, you not cut it like this, you're going to cut it like this. In traps. Right? Yes.
They say they don't use this knife to peel onion.
According to the initiator, Reverend Mabel Oben, the mother or the woman can fall sick or travel out of the home where there is no one to cook for the children. The children are then obliged to face their destiny.
At first, when my mother told me of this program, I did not want to come. Before coming, I had this habit that is the girl that's supposed to cook, do all these things, clean, mop. But from the teaching and just gave me, I've seen some reason why I should work. And sometimes when my mother, give me work in the house, I should not be angry.
Cooking with Boys has been welcomed by the population of Bamenda, which expects to see this gender stereotype erased. The second edition of Cooking with Boys has been slated for December 2023.
And the BRICS gathered for 2-day summit in Johannesburg, South Africa, has announced the August 24th that they will welcome new member countries. The new entrants are Argentina, Egypt, Iran, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. These membership will take effect from January 1st, 2024, according to South African President Cameron, who was represented by Prime Minister Joseph Diongute, seeks to explore new opportunities for cooperation and investment, which is in regard to look for solutions in various sectors. And Guinea the boss of the Wenya Group, who was on board the plane which crashed this Wednesday 23rd in Russia. Wenya confirms his death as it was announced dead by the Russian media. The plane was reportedly carrying 10 people, among them Wenya Group boss and when Commander Dimitri did not survive to the crash. It is to be recalled that Wagner Group is a private Russian military company that is present in several countries where Russia has a strategic interest to defend all of their interests. And foreign news has been compiled by our reporter on internship, Tao Aisha. And that brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal, the international. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is The Brief with Leo Piaget. So we'll be back same time tomorrow. Good night.